Upon checking channel records, I realized it's been 2 years since I did an Arkhite video. Despite this deck getting some support in BT11, the last time we talked about Arkhite, MLB was meta. Can we say the same today? Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Mrs. here. Today I am back to cover Innocent Monster in Paradise Arkhite because they did a false reading. So if you read the wordings as well as if you read the text, you actually get two different names, and they squeeze the word monster in it because, you know, she has to be part of the monster type, but she also has to keep the words in paradise because she has to rival Eva, everyone's favorite meta destroying piece of shit, of which I've already done a link in the description for DivineZ profile. You know, when I said Eva needed to get a ban, a lot of you disliked that video, so I'm gonna say the exact thing for Arkhite. Arkhite doesn't need a ban, she's really bad, and today we have someone else who also believes she's really bad. Today we have Fader Fourth.
Yeah.
So we're gonna cover Arkhite. Just to premise this off very quickly, there are multiple versions of this deck out there already because Arkhite's new form really changes how you view the deck in terms of the new grade 3 being very different, and there are multiple ways you can play it. You can play it pure monsters, you can play it as a combo beatdown, you can play it without the monsters, yes, and there are multiple ways you can really do it. There are multiple generics you can employ. It's quite interesting. Today's variant is somewhat similar to SS version of Arkhite. It's similar to the one the different fight brought to Nagoya, but not really. There are some edits for our own personal taste. But frankly, this deck is flexible enough that you can play multiple cards in it from set 8 all the way till now. So I don't think it's that bad of a thing if you don't have the stuff. There's a few cards that's a must play though, so we'll probably raise them to you. So let's get started with the right deck.
Yes. Although the right deck actually hasn't changed at all, because first you have the energy generator, that's the only new one.
Yeah.
And off screen we have upgraded our right line to FR.
Yes.
The whole right line.
The right line is actually still the same as the previous Arkhite video, link in the description.
Yeah, so
and energy obviously is from our DivineZ.
The moment in Respite Arkhite that we have, which is just the standard D series starter. Then we have Searching for Monsters Heart Arkhite. So when she's written on top of the Grade 0 Arkhite specifically, you search her deck for up to one research card and then you add it into your hand. So research card.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the research card that has been popping up in every Eva deck profile that you've seen since March.
But we invented that actually.
Torrential energy research.
We invented that. We made Monster Eva first.
Yeah, so we'll go over torrential energy research later because it's very important for this deck. But generally, like, you only really need to play one type of research card in this deck because of the way that they've changed Grade 3 Arkhite skill.
Yeah.
And then the Grade 2 Arkhite, sadly I sort of forgot her name at this point because I only know that only the Grade 1 Arkhite has monster in her name.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, only the Grade 1 Arkhite in the right line has monster in her name, so the Grade 1 and the Grade 3 have monster in their name. So don't accidentally go and put the Grade 2 or the Grade 0 into Order Zone. What? The kanji's not there, bro. It's not
the
there.
Grade 1 is Monster Soul Searching Arkhite.
The kanji's not there, bro. It's not there.
But anyways, yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that's one. I guess that's no. Monster Creator's the Grade 3 name, bro. Yeah. So Grade 2 Arkhite doesn't have monster in her name, but then she also searches for a research card. So basically, the right line gives you 2 research, the same as Eva. In fact, you can just play the whole right line as Eva if you wanted to prank your opponent.
Play differently.
Yeah, and then the Grade 3 is where it all changes. It is Innocent Monster in Paradise Arkhite. So Innocent Monster in Paradise Arkhite, her first ability is the Dress Out clause with the original Arkhite. So her name, so on Vanguard Circle, continuous, her name counts as Monster Creator Arkhite. So that means that you can write. So that means that if you write Monster Creator Arkhite, which is the original DBTO8 Grade 3 Arkhite on top of her, then it counts as a personal right and vice versa.
Yep.
Yeah. So in the event that in the future we may need to play some anti-deck out strategy, you can always just play the original Monster Creator.
I mean, when you fight Starhuja and he's gonna drag you through 93 turns in a single game, I think you may want to consider that.
Yeah. But the thing is that new Arkhite definitely can win a lot faster now because of the way that the skill is structured. So
Thank God.
Vanguard's act ability is that Energy Plus 2. You may choose up to 3 monsters from your drop zone and put it into your order zone.
So basically a monster box.
Yeah, so it's completely disregarding how many set orders you have. You just shove 3 from your drop zone into your order zone.
Now, as the obligatory device explained, motherfucker. So every turn you get 3 energy. Thank you, Akina. You get 3 energy, right?
and then every time you get 3 energy. If you blast 2, eventually when you reach 9 energy, you blast 7, you draw 1, you can blast 2, which means even if you go first or second, you can still get that draw. And with 3 energy, it means that every time you get 3, you minus 2 is 1. Over time, you will still get that drawback, despite you completely not being deserving of it. You know who else takes 3 energy to do absolutely nothing? I'll tell you. This motherfucker. You are not getting that video, alright? I'm not doing this video. No, this deck is shit. Alright, so yeah, that's basically all I have to say. So, the Energy Blast 2 instead of 3 really saves this deck in my opinion. They reviewed Shoujo first and I was really worried. I thought if Arkhite gets the EB3, it's gonna be horrible because Arkhite needs draw as well. So EB2 is generally quite favoured if you ask me.
Yeah. Then she also keeps her original. She sort of keeps her original auto ability, which is that whenever a monster is called, so let's take our friend Bobomine. You know Bobomine has been here for 15 sets.
Yes.
Basically you choose a copy of Bobomine in this case, or basically the same name monster as the one that you caught from your order zone, and you put it to drop instead of putting it back to the bottom. Instead of putting it to the bottom of the deck, now you put it to the drop zone instead. So it's infinitely recyclable now because your Arkhite as well as your set order both let you put cards, monster from your drop zone into your order zone.
So the thing is that the pro is that you generally get hands on the same copies of the monster, and then you can just keep looping it because the drop and the order zone are a zone that interacts relatively often for Arkhite because of the order or her new skill herself. The downside is that this would not help your deck out at all. So like last time with Arkhite, you could always just tuck a monster back into the deck, and generally you get some form of survivability for the deck out. But now you don't.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal because like as Fate of Fourth Credit mentioned, you do get to kill a lot better with the new Arkhite. But yeah. Okay, since we're talking about killing, let's talk about her destruction clause. Let's destroy everything. When she attacks Card Blast 1, choose up to 2 monsters from a different name from the monster box and call it
for your order zone.
For your order zone and call it 2 rearguard circles. Now, the drop monster skill is not how much per turn for names even. So if let's say you had 4 copies of this guy Lerangala, you deadass can just call drop, and it won't matter. As long as you find a way to loop that thing, it's fine. Even if you use that copy once already, you generally get hands on a second.
Yeah.
The downside, as you can obviously see, is that Arkhite, when she attacks, she moved the monster zone you're replacing back to the other zone. This time, it's just being called over, so it goes straight to the drop.
Yes.
You see where we're going with this. And that's why you generally do need ways to filter this deck. You need ways to filter, you need ways to draw, you need ways to cycle through this deck.
Because new Innocent Monster in Paradise Arkhite doesn't search the top 7
That's
anymore.
not at all.
So she doesn't interact with the deck at all actually. She just interacts mainly with the drop zone as well as your monsters that you call on the field.
So new Arkhite's way of playing is that she generally only focuses with what we've already found. Anything that you haven't found yet isn't fagging.
Yeah.
So just take that in mind. So they kind of changed Arkhite from Blondazel into, I don't know,
I mean, the original it was Gurgit.
Yeah. So now
they basically changing it to Glorious Rain.
Glorious Rain, I get Pinot Blank.
I don't know.
It's from a
zone. Something else. I mean, they still go Paladin in the end of the day.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Go Paladin cards don't turn me on like a. Come on, man. She's so hot. Look at her. She's just strolling through the park like la la la, and then fucking Zeton just pops out like Zed.
Bro, she's literally off to go and nuke some buildings, bro.
Yes. So as I mentioned, I'm gonna obligatorily go through every kaiju reference in this deck, so you are forced to listen. We'll talk about the order zone. You already know this. This is Tecton Energy Research. Sadly, they did not give us a new monster research. But frankly, do we need one at this point?
Promo card. Let's go. Promo. I can't wait.
Promo. To beat up more children. We've already covered this card. Please check out
but basically, if you really want to know what it does, it's basically when it's set. So it's a grade 1 research card. So it's already like 10 times better than Eva's original wave. It's basically just a grade 1 research card. You can plop it down as soon as you search it out from the original searching for monsters Arkhite grade 1, which is that you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and then you review up to 2 monsters. It can be the same name, they can be different name. It doesn't matter. 2 cards a monster in their card name from among them, and then 1 of them goes to your hand, 1 of them goes to your drops. And even if you review 1 or less, you can choose to put that 1 monster that you reviewed into your hand. You do not need to first put to drop, then put to your hand. So generally, it's just a very good filter, very very good way to find, you know, all the different monster names that you need to find in this day. There's like so many good monsters now. Okay, this example aside, there's so many good monster names aside. You can even find your perfect guard from the start deck, your prison start deck, in case you still remember that. You know, there's so many different monster names now. Is that generally like tectonic energy research has shot up astronomically because of how strong it is, and I mean that literally, because there's also a different monster in a completely different research based deck that is also making this card shoot up exponentially. So please try to find your copies ASAP before they all sell out because of a certain Immigra. Now moving on, we go to our grade 3s. So we run 3 copies of Innocent Monster in Paradise Arkhite. And then also we run 4 copies of the new monster release. So obviously, you know, we run 3 copies for Persona Right and then 1 in the right there, because Persona Right is still very strong for Arkhite. If you don't see Persona Right, your kill power goes down exponentially. So always remember to find Persona Right. And then after that we have Revilis. So Revilis is actually the monster that has always appeared inside Arkhite's card art. So as you can see there he is. So he's always been inside Arkhite's card art ever since the original Arkhite. And it's just a very nice reference that they finally made him into a unit, and it's actually really, really good. So Revilis' skill is that when he's placed by your grade 3 or greater Arkhite's card ability, it gains the following auto ability until the end of the turn, which is that when it attacks, you create counterblast 1 and choose your opponent's Vanguard and give it minus 5,000 power. So basically, it's 5 maximum.
Yeah.
It's basically exactly the same as 5 maximum. It's counterblast 1 to minus your opponent by 5,000 power. But I said, and now it's a body as well. Yeah. And also, and then if your opponent is grade 3 or greater, additionally, it also gains 10k and a crit. So the counterblast is independent of the 10k and a crit. So it's technically 2 different conditions. Is that it needs to be by calling it for Arkhite's ability, either the Innocent Monster in Paradise Arkhite or the original, it activates the rest of the skill, which is that it gains the 10k and the crit if your opponent is grade 3 or greater, and also it also gains the on attack skill to minus them by 5. And then its second ability is that continuous, this card cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effect, so it cannot be dominated, cannot be
retired, cannot be bind.
Cannot retire, cannot be bound, but it still can be shot down by Vanguard Dragons, because Vanguard doesn't choose.
Yeah.
And of course, stuff like Shoulder Doji and Vermilion, they target the circle, so you can't really do much after that.
Yeah. I mean, appearance wise, he looks a lot like the Kaiju from Pacific Rim, but he really has more abilities similar to Zeton and stuff. So
So it's just generally just very, very fun that we finally have this card as an actual unit instead of always just being the art.
I'm glad, honestly.
glad they did not pass on that. Good. Alright, moving on to our grade 2s. Our grade 2s, we have 4 copies of Lerangala. We have 1 copy of Arkhite on the right there.
Yes.
Then we have 4 copies of Salvo Ward and 3 copies of Cyclogard.
Okay, yeah. So generally, I think this lineup, the grade 2 lineup is honestly going to be quite standardized for the rest of Arkhite's lifespan until we get even better monsters for now. So generally, 3 Cyclogard, because Cyclogard is the strongest tank is still one of the best tank shields that the Arkhite has available to her, because not only is it an attacker that can also intercept to become a tank shield, but it also has the ability is that when it's placed on Regal Circle, if you have 2 or more research cards, then you can choose one monster from your drop zone and put it into your order zone. Yep. Yeah, so one thing that if you may have forgotten is that the research can rest itself to put a monster from your drop zone into your order zone, but you can only do that up to the number of research cards that you have, so it might not be enough, especially if sometimes you don't see more than the 2 research that you search from the right line. So generally, Psycho Guardian is just there to have a additional accelerant for this deck, as well as also you can pull off some nice combos. Is let's say like you only see 3 copies of the same monster, you can call 1 from your hand, and then you put 1 card to your drop, and then when Arkhite swings, you can call the same monster and then also call Psycho Guardian. Psycho Guardian puts the copy that was originally in the order zone back in the drop zone that you put from the order zone to the drop zone back into the order zone.
And they drop it again.
To drop it again. Yeah. So only Psycho Guardian can do this because he's the only battle phase. He's the only on place or drop zone to order zone monster setter that we have.
Yeah. So he's
very, very, very.
He's still pretty valuable.
He's very, 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 very important. And also because it's a tanky shield, so you really can't go wrong.
Yeah, you cannot.
Then next we have
Arkhite, which I've already covered.
Arkhite from the right line. Then we have someone that actually has been in the deck for quite a long time, I would say, because actually DB13 is actually it's been 8 months since DB13 has come out.
Yeah.
Which
But
is
we haven't done an archive video in 1.5 years.
yeah.
So
So this is Salvo Ward. So Salvo Ward
Machine
is
Monster Salvo Ward.
yeah. So it's a tournament promo that came out during DBT13's release, and it's also been reprinted in Festival Booster 2024. So this is the printing from Festival Booster, and this is the original PR printing. You can tell because the lack of the flavor text. Because for holo promos don't come with flavor text for some reason.
Cool.
Then so Salvo Ward has two very very strong abilities, but the problem is that Arkhite just hasn't had the card advantage to actually abuse these skills until now. So Salvo Ward's skill is that in your order zone, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with monster in his card name, you may Soul Blast 2 to call this card out to rearguard circle and it gains 5000 power. So generally that's basically just a free body from the board, and because your research card can, as well as Arkhite herself, allows you to loop cards from your drop zone to your order zone. That means that you have an infinitely loopable rear guard every single turn, so long as you have the 2 soul, which is this deck will try to accomplish every single turn to get as much soul as you possibly can.
Yep.
So you can keep looping him, so you don't have to throw away too many cards from hand, because his second skill is actually very strong in terms of filtering your hand, which is that when he's placed on rearguard circle, you have 2 or more research cards in your order zone. You choose one card from your order zone you choose one non-sentinel unique card from your order zone and add it to your hand, and then you choose one card from your hand and discard it.
Yeah.
So generally, what you want to do is that you generally want to throw away monsters that have no real ability in your hand. Example, Revilis. So Revilis is obviously like the number 1 guy that you want to throw away because he does nothing in your hand, and you want to put him into the drop zone to then put him into the order zone to call.
So basically, you can sculpt your hand now. You can actually choose monster-based targets in your monster box and trade them off for cards that you don't want.
Just so long as it's not a sentinel, you can do that. So
you can actually search.
So the problem is that last time there wasn't that many good targets for it. There was mainly Cyclo Guarde and maybe Wavy Rose. Yep. But then now, of course, you have. And of course, Arkhite herself, you can loop Persona right in this deck because Arkhite herself is a monster. Well, now you have many targets, and so as you also have ways to make better columns and all, because now you don't really sacrifice much from emptying out your monster box too early, because because now you have ways to set 6 in 1 turn rather than just 3. So it's way faster to set them back from drop zone to order zone, so you don't have to worry about emptying out your monster box too early by using Salvo Ward. And of course now we can go to the new cards at long last, which is one of the best new monsters that they added, Boulder X Dragon or
Lightning Claw,
Kaiju Lerangala.
So he's based on Ouroboros from Ultraman Root. This guy is clearly a Mecha Godzilla, but to be fair, I think any mechanized kaiju works. So anything across multiple Toku franchises will work. This guy, freaking bastard. I'm gonna let you go through this.
Yeah. So it's auto rearguard circle. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, if you have 2 researchers in your order zone, so yes, Eva can use this. It gains 5000 power. So it's a 15k attacker on his own. So basically, it's just Boulder X.
He's like grade 2 obscure.
Yeah. Then his second ability, but it's more balanced. Boulder X, because Boulder X can gain the 5k when you go first. This guy can only gain the 5k if you go second. Then his second ability is that at the end of the battle that he attacks, if you have a grade 3 or greater Arkhite Vanguard, specifically Arkhite, so thank God, Eva can't use the best part of this guy. You retire him to draw a card. So it really is just Boulder X Dragon. I love Vaga Dragons. Yeah, if you're asking where the DZBTO2 Vaga video is, just you should know what to do with your Rokusei.
We are not doing that because the previous Vaga video didn't do well enough.
Yes.
So yeah. Okay, great ones. Obviously, we go through it.
Arkhite. We're searching for Monster Hut Arkhite. And they play 4 copies of Baldry.
Oh my god. At least let us go through the rest of the list first in peace.
They must know the truth.
2 copies of 4Vex
and 2 copies of Bobo. So
okay.
Bobo Mine,
you already know what it does.
It's been here since set 1. Basically, at the end of the battle, that this unit boosted. If you have your order as a set order, you put into soul to counter charge 1.
Do you know Daisha has a clone of this?
No, I didn't know that.
You should check the link.
Oh my god, no way. What?
You should check.
He has a clone?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, then we have 4Vex. So 4Vex basically is the other 10k shield that this deck has. So what it does is that at the end is that when put to Guardian Circle, if you have a grade 2 or greater Arkhite Vanguard, then this unit gains
You wanna?
Oh no! It's the same cost. It's if you have two or more research cards in your order zone, then this card gains 5k shield.
Oh,
So it's
Eva can play this.
identical to Cycle Guardian in that sense.
Yes.
But the only reason why I'm playing is a 2-off because you want to fit the Bubble Mine.
Yes.
Otherwise, if you feel as though this list doesn't really need the counter charge, then you just play 4x at 4.
The only
you
thing
have-
is that you can't need a soul.
So you have seven counter charge. So you have 7 tanky shield because his second skill is that at the end of the battle that he boosted, if you have a
Architect.
if your Vanguard your Vanguard just needs to be Arkhite. So your Vanguard is Arkhite, you Soul Blast 1, you bounce it back to him.
So you can even use it for turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, but you don't really have the swing.
But you can.
know,
In the future, you can.
Yeah. So the thing is that you have
If
to
you
you
build
have to
for
really you have to really balance the soul use that you have between 4x and
Salvo.
because this deck runs very very little soul charge.
This guy is based on Recubus from Diner.
Yeah. So it's like 4x is good and Bubble Mine is also very good, but the thing is that you also want to see them at different points of the game. Like 4x you want to try and see early so that you can have a loopable booster that you can always use. Basically like you guard with him, then you put him to order zone, then you can give him the 10k. But generally like because you're playing both of the great ones at such low copies, they're not really gonna become very big boosters. You mainly are just playing them for the utility, that one of them is a 10k shield, the other one is a counter charge.
Yes.
So if you feel as though one of those abilities over the other is more valuable to you, then just cut the two of them, just play one as a full play set.
Yep. Kaiju PG, because Kaiju PG.
Yeah, because it's searchable and also it's last resort 70k beater or 27 you persona right?
Okay, Arkhite is Arkhite, you already know her.
Yes.
Last is Baldwin.
Baldry is a new card from DZBT02 Illusionary Strife, and it was hyped up a lot at the very beginning of DZBT because it was one of the very first reviews for DZBT02, and then suddenly like I think most people forgot that the card existed.
Yeah.
Because Welstra realized that actually like most of his deck is actually just all grade ones. He searches out like all 9 of his set orders by turn 3, so like there's no reason to have a set order searcher or a grade 2 searcher if you already have like you're only searching for Freiheits in Welstra if you play Baldry, so you just play Eins.
Yep.
But Baldry actually surprisingly is very good in Arkhite. For absolutely no reason, for very very confusing reasons, Baldry actually works perfectly with the exact ratios that we are playing because we are playing so many grade 2s and grade 3s in this deck.
Especially for Larangala, who needs to be searched.
Yes. So you just play because the ratios that we are playing is just so many grade 2s and grade 3s, and also like this deck doesn't have any other way to get the research cards besides the right line, unlike Welstra, unlike even like stuff like Vanguard, who knows.
Right.
This is the only way to reliably get the extra researchers in hand. So what Baldrick does is that continuous. If your opponent is grade 3 or greater and you have 2 or more set orders in your order zone, he gains 5,000 power. So it's a permanent 13k booster, so basically it's almost like Webiros, but he cannot go any higher than 13.
Because he can't be cloned by...
He can't be cloned because he's not a monster. I mean, he's a dude, bro. He's
a man.
He's a man. He's just a little guy. Then his second ability is the reason why he's so good. Is at the end of the battle that this unit boosted. If you have a set, so long as you have a set order in your order zone, you put him into your soul. So this is the main soul generator for this deck. Besides Bubble Mine, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck and you review up to 1 grade 2 or greater unique card or a set or any set order card from among the top 5 and review it to your opponent, add to your hand.
Yep.
So basically, he gives you +1 soul, and he also trades himself 1 for any of your important kaijus or your set order. Because the problem with Arkhite is that even though now, unlike Monster Creator Arkhite, which had a restriction that needed you to see 3 research cards. Despite not having any more skills that require you to have 3 or more research, not having the 3rd research really slows you down a lot.
Because of the graveyard.
Yeah, because you want to recur as many monsters as you can, and the difference is not whether the total difference between whether you recur 5 or 6, it's the timing that you can do it, because you want to try and not use Arkhite's EB2 as much as possible, because then you can do the EB7 to draw and then still be able to EB2 emergency if you need to. Whereas if you only have 2 research, you're gonna be more reliant on the EB2, which means that you can never draw, which means that your deck slows down by a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So Baldry is very important in finding that research card, as well as finding your Ray Villis, your Persona Right, your Larangada, your Cyclo Garde. It's really, really very strong. And then he also gives you soul for your Cyber Word.
Which helps.
Yeah. So I know he's not a monster.
But he's probably the only non-monster I'd say that's quite warranted.
Alright, moving on to grade zeros. Grade zeros, we play. It's Arkhite.
Moment of respite.
You already know what she is. You already know why she's here. But who is she waving at? We will never know. We play 4 heals. We play 3 fight fronts. Even though Arkhite is a piece line deck, we do actually need to spread thin and to bring.
I mean, you basically you can loop Vanguard as many times as you need to, so you really do not. So basically, any card that you draw should be as high shield as you possibly can. That's why we play fronts.
Obviously, we play Elder Breath, and then we will play 8 criticals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have no idea who any of these are. You can let me know in the comments. I actually don't.
There's definitely not a $40 critical trigger just sitting.
I have no idea who these guys are. And that wraps up our Arkhite deck profile for DivineZ, or in other words, for set 3 in DZVTO3. Very frankly, I'm quite impressed with how this deck has come about. I think Arkhite has forever been Eva's shadow. I don't think there's a more blunt way to say it. Frankly, right now though, I am feeling pretty hopeful because while the deck seems finished, it's not finished. Definitely play cards like Baldrin indicate to you that there is a slot that you can actually put another tournament promo inside, because Shoujo Doji actually got 2 tournament promos and Arkhite only got 1. Not only that, in December, if we do get another CCE set, there's definitely potential for her to get another double rare, I would say. So, all in all, I think it's definitely looking up for her. She has gotten like a few results in Nagoya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she definitely can get more. She's not meta in the sense that she's definitely not like the best at format, but neither is she the worst.
She's sitting in the Zorgan idea camp where like there are some days that this deck is like absolutely stupid, and there are some days that you just really don't understand why you spend money playing this deck.
I guess.
Yeah.
But that basically will wrap it up. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, we've already gone through Dayusha at the point of filming this video. Right now, this is Arkhite. May or may not be going through any more DZBTO3 deck profiles because, yes, I know it's cheap, but not only do I have time to not have time to test it, very frankly, I'm also worried about the ban list. I want to see what they're going to do. So I might also wait for that, plus my own personal stuff and prepping for WGP. But let me know in the comments if there's anyone else you want to see. The only deck I definitely won't be doing is Cardfight. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye bye.